Hello. Howdy, everyone. Good day. Good day. My name is Jamari. I tell people a good way to remember that is Jamari. Goes on safari in his Ferrari. Jamari. It helps a little bit to remember who I am. I think it's always important, even before I go into this presentation, to give a little bit of context about who Jamari is. I've been building this space since 2016. I came into this space because I believe in empowering communities that have often been overlooked. And I found this space to be a way to empower them, to provide them a mechanism and a tool to empower themselves. My first project was the Quantum Resistant Ledger, which I launched in 2017 along with some co-founders in England. It was about 100 million network valuation. When I ended up leaving that project, we used post-quantum cryptography to mitigate against the risk of quantum computing when that eventually happens. Used the Winternet's one-time signature, extended Merkle signature trees for that. Got the launch of that actually at Berkeley at Blockchain. First time I ever talked about it. So this is kind of where my home base was. In 2021, last year, I launched Snowball as a DAO on Avalanche. We were the first auto compounder, first active DAO on the network. We also were the first DAO to launch a DAO. So we spun out Axial, which was a stable swap. Both between those two, we had about 200 million to TVL. Between those two, we made over $10 million for our users. Via those mechanisms, it was a fair launch, and it was designed to empower the people that was part of that community. Through all those experiences, working on DAOs, working on governance, looking at the core fundamental aspects of how these networks function, I really realized that the biggest issue was the UX UI. Like that was a gigantic barrier for a lot of people to enter the space, and that was FiHub what was created. It was really the abstraction of everything that I learned from those experiences to create something new, something that can move the space forward and help with adoption. So FiHub is a discovery dashboard for DeFi and Web3. So our mission is expanding Web3 while onboarding the next millions and hopefully billions of users. So we want to create a protocol and application that supports users in understanding and navigating their digital assets through the discovery and active engagement of DeFi and Web3 applications. So what that really means is instead of just being about showing you your portfolio or just showing you analytics, we want you to be able to get the data and be able to take action on those inside of an easy, accessible manner. So what's the problem in general? Only 5% of users leverage DeFi right now. There's 300 million global Web3 users, and only 5% of those people are actually actively in DeFi. Majority of them are on centralized exchanges still. And why is that? Because Web3 lacks a unifying experience. Besides portfolio managers, there's no way of really understanding and discovering what the opportunities are. What can you do with these assets? Because if you're in this space, you know that whenever you introduce somebody to the space, what do you have to do? You have to sit down with them and say, first you go to this exchange, then you approve this, and then you can go to this other website, and then you go do this, and then you go do that, and then you go check on it in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, and then you have to go on Twitter, find out what's happening. Then you go to the Discord and make sure that you join Telegram. Too much. Too much. We need a unifying experience that provides them the information they need to take action. And then the way that you actually, then the other problem is there's limit to open source standards. Because if there's open source standards, it will help facilitate these things. So this composability, this stacking of smart contracts one upon another is very powerful, but it increases additional risks about interacting with malicious smart contracts. You have phishing strategies and alter function calls and forks that have switched a word or two that makes it operate differently. So you need some mechanism to be able to abstract and determine what's occurring. So what's the solution? The solution is actually taking all these things and creating this white glove experience, creating like similar to token lists, providing smart contract lists that abstracts the risks, that abstracts the attestations, that determines what platform and what are the verifications that have occurred along that asset. Like, is it even verified on the Explorer so that somebody can determine if it's actually accurate to the fork or not? So you provide a walkthrough of these things to help them on their path so that they have a safer environment for interacting with Web3 and DeFi. And then in addition, you partner with the DeFi applications because what they care about the activity. They don't care about them being on their website. They care about you actually leveraging their tools. So you provide a space and a platform for people to access them and understand what they're offering and what differentiates them from everyone else. So that's what FiHub is creating. We created a Web3 DeFi dashboard where we show how those digital assets can be put to use. We can execute strategies that are simple and are complex from that same user interface. FiHub is like financial hub, kind of like a train station. We're conducting you through your space. That's why we named it that. Hopefully you make that connection. And then we provide smart contract risk assessments. These assessments are to help them understand kind of what they're interacting with. And it's always great when it's on the wallet side as well, but until we make those connections, those partnerships, right now we're just presenting it on our front end side. Then we have don't miss anything notifications. That's your push notifications. I don't know why more people ain't doing them, but you need to know what's going on. Like it need to be a native part of it. Like earlier we heard of the guy from Savvy talk about he had something ring and tell him about to be liquidated. He had a system that did that was separate than the central systems that actually platform had. It needs to be native experience to what's occurring in this space so that everybody has even that ability to get a ringtone or a ring note, because otherwise you find out on Twitter. And if you ain't Twitter, you'll never know, and then all your money gone, which sucks. And then at the end, you want to earn additional rewards. So really creating that community ecosystem that really supports operations. So this is the dashboard wireframing for what we built. It's really about like making sure that people understand that there's audio-visual content to explain what was going on, that there's tracking and routing of where you are in the ecosystem and how you can use that asset, as well as the ability to execute and know exactly what's going on. So that's what we've been building, and I'm going to skip through some of this, but I'm going to show a little bit. So basically, you have an asset. You see the asset. You see somebody talking, explaining a little bit about what that asset is to you. I'm talking, no matter what I'm saying. And then you'll be able to swap or remove that asset as necessary. And then more importantly to me, like in this space, you actually see, let's see, you actually see is just moving down a second, because I don't got that much time there. Pause it. Ha-ha. So what you see here is you see the asset, then you see the ways, it's kind of blurry though. You can see the different ways that asset can be used in the ecosystem. You can stake it on the Lost Worlds platform. You can pool liquidity in Trader Joe, or you can pool liquidity in Pangolin. You can auto-compound it with Yieldjack or Snowball, or you can farm it with Trader Joe and Pangolin. You now have all the routes of where that asset can be utilized in this space inside of an easy-to-access and navigate space, and you can choose where you want to go now. So along with the analytics that's supporting it, now you have actionable intel and an understanding of the ecosystem to take action. And that's, to me, much easier. So then, I'm jumping up to 1 minute. And then, so then what you see is that you actually have the options of execute. Come on, you can play now yet. Oh, you was playing. You have the option of seeing how to execute those things and doing it in the same location. So now, because smart contracts can be accessed from anybody, you don't have to go to the main website. You can come to a centralized location that provides decentralized access to all the robust functionality and beauty of what's happening in the space and be able to execute it from right there. So for us, like that routing system, the notifications, this underlying infrastructure of smart contract lists are vital to this operation, to creating FiHub. So how does this thing make money? Why does it exist? So we make money in 3 different ways. You have premium features. Premium features be able to take those notifications, provide you very specific contextualized information that you might want. You might want to know when you made an extra $10, so we send you a push notification there. That might not be the free tier, but you're willing to pay for this very precise particular information. For zappers, like you might not want to do all the walking through all those transactions. You want somebody else to do that for you. So just zap on through it. That is actually a fee. Promoted fees for promoting somebody to feature their items or what they're doing in the space is an important part of that cycle. And then FiHub creative strategies. When necessary, we make smart contracts that people can utilize for more advanced strategies. So internal incentive systems, basically we look at the way that you create community. You have the user cycle where they earn and learn potentially. We track the promotions. We allow people to make new strategies and new content, and that all has value. Key team members is me. Sharif won 2 of the Avalanche hackathons. He's dopeness. We have Jonas, his senior engineer. He did dumb crazy work at Snowball that he contributed, a lot of back-end work. So we have 2 front-end people that's been dope in Cookie technical writing as well as front-end design, and Luis did our designs. Like on our funding side, we're trying to raise $750,000 right now. The goal is over the next year to raise $4 million to really build out our fully featured campaign. Because for us, we want FiHub to be the same as Coinbase was to Bitcoin and crypto assets. OpenSea was the NFTs. We want FiHub to be for the Web3 space. So thank you. I appreciate that. I hope I have enough time for at least a couple of questions or 2. But Jamari, FiHub, if you want to scan that, I just opened up the Discord for you to be able to access. Telegram, Twitter, you can ask a question. Now I'm just talking right now in the middle of the time just because. Absolutely. Absolutely. So inside of our smart contract list schema, one of the things we want to make sure is that we actually have a tag and that actually has risk assessment severity levels. But because we believe in open source protocols, we believe that there should be different ways of assessing that. So we can be able to abstract whatever system somebody's interested in. So you can sub in different risk metrics depending on your context and preference, which is also part of our recommendation engines. No problem. Any other questions? Yes, sir. Absolutely. Everybody. Look, we want to map out the entire ecosystem. Everything that you see on DeFi Llama, we believe we can use machine learning and other processes to actually automate all that to be able to cover the whole ecosystem. My goal is right now is you use community-created strategies. However, I'm looking at ways of automating it because I've already kind of mapped out how that is, but I need funds to do it the way I want to, and that's the reason why we're raising funds because I can't do it all by myself. All right, he said wrap it up. All right, thank you for your time.